This is the Heart Sutra. The Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, the Blessed Mother, the Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom. Thus have I once heard. The Blessed One was staying in Rajgriha at Bolshapik along with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. And in that time, the Blessed One entered the meditative absorption on the various phenomena called the appearance of the profound. At that time as well, the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, clearly beheld the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom itself, and saw that even the five aggregates are empty of intrinsic existence. Thereupon, through the Buddha's inspiration, the Venerable Shariputra spoke to the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and said, "How should any noble son or noble daughter who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom train?" When this had been said, the holy Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, spoke to the Venerable Shariputra and said, "Shariputra, any noble son or noble daughter who so wishes to engage in the profound practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should clearly see this way. They should see perfectly that even the five aggregates are empty of intrinsic existence. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form, and emptiness is not other than form, and form too is not other than emptiness. Likewise, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness are all empty. Therefore, they're all phenomena emptiness. They are without defining characteristics. They are not born, they do not cease. They are not defiled, they are not undefiled. They are not deficient, they are not complete. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no perception, no mental formation, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, and no mind. There is no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no texture, no mental objects. There is no I element, and so on, up to no including up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, or path. There is no wisdom, no attainment, and even no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since bodhisattvas have no attainments, they rely on this perfect wisdom and abide in it. Having no obscuration in their mind, they have no fear, and by going utterly beyond error, they will reach the end of nirvana. All the Buddhas who abide in the three times attain the full awakening of unexalted perfect enlightenment by relying on this profound perfection of wisdom. Therefore, one should know that the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unexalted mantra, the mantra equal to the unequals, the mantra that quells all suffering is true because it is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tat yatha gate para sangate bodhi swaha. Shariputra, the bodhisattva, the great beings, should train the perfection of wisdom in this way. Thereupon the Blessed One arose from that meditative absorption and commended the holy Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, saying that, "Excellent, excellent, O noble child. It is just so, it should be just so. One must practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have revealed. For even the Tathagatas, then even the Tathagatas will rejoice." All as the Blessed One uttered these words, and when Shariputra, the holy Avalokiteshvara, bodhisattva, the great being, along with the entire assembly, including the world of gods, humans, Asuras, and Gandharvas, all rejoiced and hailed what the Blessed One had said. So these are verses of salutation from Abhisamaya Alankara and Mula Madhyama Kakarika. So first, this Heart Sutra is very meaningful. When we recite the Heart Sutra, I feel if we think through carefully, you will feel, oh, the Buddha has given such a great teaching. So it teaches emptiness. So through the meditation of which one goes through the paths, then culminating in Buddhahood. So there's no greater path than that you can feel. So this is the offering of the ritual cake by inviting the enlightened beings as witness the evil forces who might otherwise hinder this initiation ceremony are asked to leave this place and not cause any interruption. Oh yeah. So with regards to the so-called obstacle beings and interferers, they are not outside somewhere, residing somewhere, but mainly they are within ourselves, which are this strong grasping and clinging to the true independent existence in things, and the extreme self-centered attitude that we have, while keeping these within ourselves, these negative forces within ourselves. If we just think of dispelling or driving away some evil forces that reside outside, so if these obstacle the beings or the evil spirits whom we are supposed to be driving away from this place, they might laugh at us, seeing that these people, they're trying to drive us away, as considering us as some evil beings, but they have evil within themselves. There's which are those the grasping at some independent self, and so what happens is these so-called obstacle beings appear as negative, but there's nothing that we can do about driving them away or outside, but they are reflections of our own negative emotions, these negative. So actually, if we care about their well-being, then we would be able to ask them to come forward to us, and while keeping these evils within ourselves, that is the ignorance, grasping at true existence in things and beings, and also self-cherishing attitudes. Apart from overcoming them, there's no obstacle as such. So with regard to these lines that are used for this dharma offering, they are very nice words. So the harmful beings, ghosts or evil spirits, are not outside, but they are within ourselves. The strong clinging to some kind of an independent, true existence of the beings, so-called obstacles, is within ourselves. So that is the real harmful factor. And then together with it, the self-cherishing attitude. So driving away evils should really mean to overcome and eliminate these clinging to some independent self, true existence. So since things have no objective independent existence in and of themselves, so because of that very nature of being empty of this kind of essential core, then you are able to overcome or free yourself from this cycle of existence. So everything that appears as merely designated, merely in name, when you get familiar with that over time, so because of this clinging to true existence, we actually invite obstacle beings and so forth to ourselves. So when you eliminate this, then the external factors are no more and harm to you. So if you think if you reflect on the true nature of things, they are empty of any intrinsic existence. So that is how things exist. And things do not have any independent intrinsic existence, but they appear as if but they are merely designated. And so when you understand that things have no essential core, intrinsic existence, that will free yourself from samsara. So then through that overcoming of one's clinging to true existence in things and beings, one will make this existence sacred. So I'm not saying that I have such a realization as such, but when I reflect on how things exist, I can definitely say that they do not have any objective independent existence from their own side, but they are merely designated. So to destroy this clinging to some true objective independent existence, one must realize this lack of any intrinsic, true, independent existence. So on top of that understanding of the reality of things, we should add the attitude of cherishing others over oneself. So, for the sake of all sentient beings who are as infinite as the expanse of the space, even if one needs to remain in samsara, one could feel the determination to do so for the benefit of all other sentient beings. So, with self-cherishing attitude, you might think that you are doing something good to yourself, but that is foolish way of taking care of yourself, because cherishing others over oneself is so vast an attitude, including embracing all sentient beings, whereas cherishing yourself alone is a very narrow-minded thinking, and that is foolish. So these two factors of clinging to true existence in things and the self-cherishing attitude, these, we may call them ghosts within ourselves. They are the factors that bring about all kinds of harms and misfortune to oneself and others. And so though things appear to have some kind of objective, independent existence, when we look at them, what we should do is feel convinced that they do not exist that way through logical and reasoning, reasoned thinking. So far, what is the result? What has been the result of keeping these two negative factors within ourselves as very precious? We are left in samsara, in this cycle of existence. The Buddha, on the other hand, taught us to cherish others over oneself, and the view or the insight into the selflessness of things. So the Buddha has pinpointed the very factors that are our target. So, clinging to an independent, true existence and self-cherishing attitudes, these have caused misfortune to us since time beginningless until now. So if you continue with these two, you will have suffering continuously. So, but at this time, when we are born as human beings and met with the teaching of the Buddha, and also the teachings and writings of Master Nagarjuna and so forth, at such a time, we need to target the two main factors, which are like the obstacles and interrupters. These two, the self-cherishing attitude and true grasping at some true independent existence in things. So in the Lama Chepa, Guru Puja, it says that self-cherishing attitude is the cause of all misfortune, whereas cherishing mother sentient beings is the cause of all good. So all good qualities. So even in a temporary sense, if you have self-cherishing attitude, considering others more important than oneself alone, you will not have enemies, no beings harming you, and so forth. And so this is very precious. Therefore, the prayer continues to say, may I be able to may I be able to make the practice of exchanging myself with others as the essential practice. So, of course, all the different religions are very good, but the Buddha's teaching is unique in the sense that it identifies the two main factors that cause us misfortune, which are this clinging to a true independent existence in things and beings, and also this extreme self-centered attitude. So we have all kinds of problems, difficulties that we do not want and that make us unhappy. And they are rooted in the self-cherishing attitude and also clinging on to some objective independent existence and things, as if they things and beings have some kind of objective intrinsic existence in and of themselves. And therefore, these are countered by the cherishing others over oneself, and also the understanding that things lack any self-existence. So when I was, one time I had a dream that I was visiting the Jokhang Temple in Lhasa, and at that time I was seeing the Avalokiteshvara statue, which is very special inside the Jokhang Temple. And the Avalokiteshvara was actually winking at me, beckoning me to come forward. And I went forward, and I actually embraced him. And then Avalokiteshvara said this prayer that one should never lose any hope, but with diligence practice the teaching and overcome laziness. And so if you wish to find your enemy, find it within yourself. So we are talking about world peace. So if you are peaceful within yourself, if peace is developed within yourself, in one person, from whom it can spread to 10, 100 and so forth, then real peace of the world will come.
Yeah.
This is a mandala offering, one verse mandala offering. It is ground, anointed with perfumes, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it to you. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure field.
Jaya Taya Me Waya Tatari the Tisho Nagulu.
So today we are doing the actual initiation of the Chakrasamvara according to Krishnacharya Tradition. So what we need to do day and night as our main practice is to overcome this enemy within ourselves, which are the grasping at true existence and self-cherishing attitudes. So these are the enemies of the teaching of the Buddha and also the harmful agents to oneself. And so we must do our best on a daily basis to try to reduce their intensity within ourselves. If you are able to do that, I myself do this practice daily. And if you are able to do that too, you become true disciples of the Dalai Lama. Otherwise, you may claim to have received initiation from the Dalai Lama, and that may be used. You might use such things as having received the initiation and so forth as a tool to strengthen your own negative forces that are within. And the teachers may think about my students, and students might think my Lama, my teacher. But if you maintain the grasping at true existence and self-cherishing attitude without any change, then that doesn't serve any purpose. You're only serving your own selfishness. So, with regard to the Chakrasamvara tradition, Tantra, there are the three traditions. The Ulaanbaatar tradition, which is practiced in the Gyutu and Gyume Tantric colleges. They are very familiar with this. And then, with regard to the Gandappada tradition of Chakrasamvara, there are many practitioners who do that in terms of the body mandala practice of Chakrasamvara. And then with regard to the Krishnacharya tradition of Chakrasamvara, it seems to be something which is not widely practiced by many. But regarding this empowerment, today, I have received it from Dr. Rinpoche, and I did the necessary retreat, confinement meditation retreat on it. And then here, in order to receive this initiation of the Krishnapada tradition of Chakrasamvara, please make a mandala offering, which has already been made. So repeat this: great joy, you are my teacher, master, please pay attention to me. O great protector, I seek the firm ways of great enlightenment. Please bestow on me the binding precepts. Please confer on me the vows of bodhicitta, and please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. O Protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of liberation. O Protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation. O Protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation. So here, the great city of liberation is not somewhere up there like a paradise or a heaven, but it is a state which we have to attain, which is to say, the overcoming of and elimination of all the negative forces, the true grasping at true existence, and self-cherishing attitudes. So, overcoming what are known as the defilements of, which are the obscuration of knowledge, obscuration to knowledge, full knowledge of everything, and also the negative mental afflictions. When you overcome these two completely, then you become a Buddha. So that is the city of great liberation. And so, in Tibet, the teaching of the Buddha spread so widely, and it is the case also with Mongolia and China proper. But if you are not careful, though the Dharma may have spread far and wide, but you may actually tend to use it for your own livelihood, the 8 worldly concerns as well. So this next is putting the garments of the deity. The disciples are given. So with Om Sarvatagada, you wear the lower robe and then the upper robe, the crown protrusion and blindfold and a garland of flowers. So this garland of flowers is meant for you to make the offering of the flowers to the deities when you are come to the point of seeing the deities later. So if you're not familiar with the tantric teachings or Buddhism, you don't need to follow the teaching, the initiation rites as such. So these are the mantras for giving the lower robe, upper robe, crown protrusion, and the blindfold, and the garland of flowers. So when you imagine or visualize that you are able to see the deities, you make offering of garland of flowers. So therefore, you are right now given this garland of flowers for that purpose. So with Akam Vira Hum, the mantra, that you are given this garland of flowers. And the Lama sprinkles water on from the action verse, reciting Om Kedare Hum. In an instant, you arise as blue Heruka with one face and 2 arms. You hold Vajra and bell crossed at the heart and stand with your right leg extended. On a sun disk at your heart, there is a blue home. A sun disk at your heart throat, there is a red R, and on a moon disk at your crown, there is a white Om. Rays of light from the 3 syllables illuminate your body with clear light. No.
Correct. Lama Sung.
So with Canterbury Hum Pet, the mantra, dispelling the obstacles, the disciples are now asked to imagine themselves transforming into a deity instantly. So not going through the procedure of, becoming dissolving in emptiness, then rising into a syllable, and that in turn transforming into some object and so forth. But instantly, you arise as blue Heruka with 1 face and 2 arms. You hold Vajra and bell crossed at your heart and stand with your right leg extended. On the sun disk at your heart is blue hum. On the sun disk at your throat are red R. Imagine red R. And moon disk at your crown, white Om. And rays of light from the 3 syllables illuminate your body with clear light. And then the Lama calls on you by saying, "My child," which shows a closeness feeling between you and the Lama. you are. So all sentient beings do not want suffering but want happiness, joy. And amongst all the sentient beings on this planet, human beings also are same in not wanting suffering but happiness. So as followers of the Buddha, as I said before, our real enemies are the grasping at true existence in things and beings, and also the self-cherishing attitude. By recognizing these to be our real enemies, as followers of the Buddha, so you have imagined these three letters, Om, Ah, and Hum, at your heart, throat, and crown. So you repeat this. My child, who are you and what do you aspire? And then the answer to this question, please repeat. A fortunate one am I. I aspire to great bliss. As I said before, you have to see self-cherishing attitude as faulty, and also that of the grasping at true existence, and bring up this understanding and insight into the fact that things do not have any independent existence, which is how they appear to us. So please repeat this with that understanding. A fortunate one am I aspire to great bliss. So what is that for? The Lama asks. And the great method of great bliss, the wisdom of great bliss, and also the wisdom realizing emptiness. So these two factors are the antidote to our two negative factors. So far we have remained rather obsessed with the clinging to the true existence in things, and also that of self-cherishing attitude since time beginningless. So now you see them as being faulty and challenge them, confront and challenge them. So you have the opportunity now, it's as in this life. So the great bliss here, according to the Highest Yoga Tantra here in this context, this great bliss wisdom is generated through the melting and descending of the bodhicitta vital elements within yourself, so that the grosser states of mind, such as the whitish appearance, 33 of them, and then the gray, reddish increase, 40 of them, and the 7 of blackish near attainment, these should be overcome, so that together with these 3 visions of the white, red, and black, all the 80 conceptions are seized, and therefore the physical consciousness within the body and the grosser states of mental consciousness, all of them cease. And then you remain with the clear light, the innate clear light mind, the spontaneously arising clear light mind. So with that mind, what you see is whatever appears to you, you are able to confirm them as being empty of any intrinsic existence. And within that lack of understanding of the lack of intrinsic existence, you develop that of the great bliss and bring them together. And so what is that for? And you answer, I seek the supreme samaya of Buddhahood. And then next comes, so with that the Lama knows your lineage and your aspiration. Next is taking the Bodhisattva vows. So if we are equipped with our own faith, devotion, and understanding of the Dharma, then the Buddhas, for the Buddhas, there's nothing that's they cannot see through. So please repeat these. I take refuge in the three jewels, individually disclose all my non-virtues, rejoice in the virtues of beings, mentally take up the enlightenment of Buddha. I take refuge in the three jewels, individually disclose all my non-virtues, rejoice in the virtues of beings, and mentally take up enlightenment of Buddha. So 3 times. So what will truly please the Buddhas and what will truly become a gift to them is this bodhicitta. For oneself also, there is no greater force than bodhicitta to purify the negativities from within your mind stream. And there is no greater force than bodhicitta to accumulate merit, this positive energies within yourself. And so this must also be coupled with the wisdom realizing emptiness, so that you overcome all defilements within yourself, including the ones that are called obscuration to knowledge. And then next is the Sarva Yoga Chi, the mind of all encompassing yoga. Generate the conventional bodhicitta aspiring to attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Visualize that this mind transforms into the aspect of a moon disk at your heart. So I am here as your Lama, but not someone who is merely in name, a Lama in name, but someone who has pursued the teaching of the Buddha since his childhood. And even today, I mean, thanks to my great masters who gave me teachings, and even today, as an old man now, I still read scriptures and study the teaching. So in essence, the Buddha has taught us to cultivate bodhicitta, meditate on bodhicitta and emptiness, and our lineage masters down to our root, the heart guru. Every one of them has told us to meditate on bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. So that then generate ultimate bodhicitta, experiencing the lack of inherent existence of a phenomena, a mind to which its own nature and emptiness of all phenomena are of one taste. Visualize that your ultimate bodhicitta arises in the form of a white 5-pronged vajra that stands upright on the moon disk at your heart. So these two, the moon disk, which is the represents the conventional bodhicitta, and the 5-pronged vajra representing the ultimate bodhicitta. So you make this promise to keep these two practice and say Om Sarva Yoga Citta Utpatayami. So to stabilize your mind of all-encompassing yoga, visualize that the Lama touches your heart with his vajra and recites Om Surate Samaya Satum Oho Siddhi Vajra Yata Sukham. And then the Lama places vajra at your head and exalts you to secrecy. Today, all the Tathagatas will bless you, but you must not talk about this most secret mandala of all Tathagatas to those who have not entered the mandala and who do not have faith in it. And so now comes the time of entering inside the curtain of the mandala. So imagine that you are now inside the mandala of the deities. So with the hum za hum, imagine that you enter inside the curtain. The Lama recites this. Please repeat this. Maharata, make 3 rounds in the mandala. Maharata, Suduko, Suduko, Susuko, Benzasato, Adi Sedimam, Maharata, Suduko, Susuko, Benzasato, Adi Sedimam, Maharata, Sundida, Suduko, Suzuko, Benzasato, Adi Sedimam. You have made 3, going around the mandala 3 times with this. So imagine having done that. So, O child, you should keep these progressively higher vows as a cause of liberation. There is no other means than this. So, of course, even the non-Buddhists have their own vows that they keep, but they do not have this vast attitude of reaching nirvana. And also, they do not have the vast and profound methods and skillful means to reach that goal. But we have the method of bodhicitta, which is thinking to become a Buddha, to lead yourself, or to become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings who are as vast as the infinite space. So the Lama recites Om Shri Ha Ha Hum Hum Pe and sprinkles the nectar on you, protects you. So you, the disciples, are in the form of Heruka, and your heart is marked with the white syllable Om Ha, which is the nature of Vajrasattva. Your head marked with the yellow syllable Om Namahi, nature of Vajrachana. The crown, your crown of your head, marked with the red syllable Om Swahu, nature of Padmanardeshwari. Your shoulders marked with black syllable Om Bhokate He, which are the nature of Heruka. Your eyes are marked with orange syllable Om Hum Hum Ho, nature of Vajrasurya. Your forehead is marked with green syllables Om Pet Hum, nature of Hayagriva, and the essence of the bodily faculty of your limbs. Your consort's navel is marked with the red syllable Om Bham, which are in the nature of Vajravarahi. Her heart marked with blue syllable Om Ham Yom, nature of Yamini. Throat marked with white syllable Om Shrim Shrim, and so forth. The nature of Samchalani, and the crown, your crown of your head marked with green syllable Om Hum Hum, nature of Drasani, forehead marked with smoke-colored syllable Om Pet Pet, which are in the nature of Chandika and the essence of the bodily faculty of her limbs. And then the mantra Om Shri Heruka Vidya Vidmahe Vidya Rajayadhi Mahev Swaha. And then the verses. I bow at the lotus feet of Guru Vajradhara, whose body is like precious skim, and through whose kindness great bliss dawns in an instant. I take refuge in the Master, whose body is of nature of all Buddhas. I prostrate to the heroes, yoginis, the wheel of deities, and the yogic abodes. Then referred to as Lion Yogin, who reveals the ultimate. You are an expert in the elimination of mental afflictions. Please sever the afflictions that are the root of the hundreds of samsaric faults. Help me to attain the king of ultimate yoga. And then the thing that the Lama requests the deities of the mandala with the following words. I shall let my disciples enter this heart mandala, the supreme city of Heruka, the abode of the Tathagatas. So you should again reflect and remind yourself of that anything. I mean, when you think about yourself, you have a sense of an I. I am this, I am that. But where is that I? You should be able to confirm that there is no independently existing intrinsic I, but it is merely designated. So, with Om Kandare Hum Hum Ped, Lama removes obstacles and purifies them. Om Swabhava Shuddha, Sabadhamma Swabhava Shuddha, how you dissolve into emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness, you instantly rise as Heruka with 4 faces and 12 arms. At your heart is the complete mandala of the 62 deities. Think that this 62 wisdom deities are invited and arrive in the form of deities and vowels and consonants of the Sanskrit. They enter and dissolve into your heart, from where they spread through your body in the form of deities and individual letters. Think of them as equal in status to the deities of the mandala. This is the main entries inside the curtain. So please fold your hands like this and touch your head, Om Namah Tehum, and say Nama Mehum, heart, throat, and then Namo Namahum Swaha, touch your heart. So visualize that you are the Eastern Gate. So next is prostrating, keeping the vows and taking pledge. Prostrate to the principal deity and his consort and so on with your body, speech, and mind, and while touching your folded hands to your forehead, throat, and heart, respectively recite Om and so forth. And then next is giving the tantric vows. So the ultimate course of Buddhahood, omniscient state of Buddhahood, and the most profound factor is that of the tantric practice. So you dissolve your ordinary body, aggregates and body into emptiness, and the mere wind mind energy that you meditate on from within the meditation on emptiness, that transforms into yourself as a deity. And within that practice of deity yoga, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes and yoginis, please pay attention to me from now on. And His Holiness just skipped the tantric vows, so Shishila reminded. Please repeat these lines. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes and yoginis, please pay attention to me from now on until I achieve the essence of enlightenment. I, who is called, say your name here, will, like the protectors of the 3 times, generate the unsurpassable, excellent spirit of enlightenment, which is set of the enlightened states. I will keep generate the individual binding precepts and vows of the 5 families. I will save beings who have not been saved. I'll liberate those not liberated. I'll give relief to those unrelieved, and will lead sentient beings to a state of beyond sorrows. Repeat this 3 times. So all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes and yoginis, please pay attention to me from now on until I have achieved this essence of enlightenment. I, who is called, say your name, will, like the protectors of 3 times, generate the unsurpassable, excellent spirit of enlightenment, which is set on the enlightened state. I will keep the general and individual binding precepts and vows. I'll save those not saved. I'll liberate those not liberated. I'll relieve those not relieved, and will lead sentient beings to the state of beyond sorrow. So at the third of this repetition, imagine that you have received the tantric vows complete. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay attention to me Please pay attention to me. From now until I reach the sense of enlightenment, I, who is called, say your name, will, like the protectors of three times, generate the unsurpassable excellent spirit of enlightenment, which is set on the enlightened state. I'll keep the general and individual binding precepts and vows of the five families. I'll save those not saved, liberate those not liberated, will relieve those not relieved, and will lead sentient beings to a state beyond sorrow. So we talk about the 84 Mahasiddhas of India, the highly accomplished ones, and also the 16 Arahats, the elders. So they are considered highly by us. So why is that so? Because they have practiced the teaching of the Buddha. And so here you are taking the Bodhisattva and Tantric vows so that you should be able to continue the legacy of those Mahasiddhas of India and also the great masters of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions of Sakya, Nyingma, Gelug, and so forth. And so you should be able to follow in their footsteps sincerely. So today you have entered the family of all Tathagatas. Therefore, I'll generate the Vajra wisdom in you. Through the primal wisdom, you'll attain the spiritual accomplishments of the Tathagatas. Not to mention all the other spiritual accomplishments, but you must not talk about it in the presence of those who have not seen the mandala. Otherwise, you'll definitely break your binding precepts. So Tantra must be practiced in secrecy and not to be disclosed and, proclaimed to others. So there may be people or beings who might otherwise have misconception of Tantra if you talk about it. So therefore, it has to be practiced in secrecy. So you are asked not to disclose the secrecy of Tantra to those who have not entered the mandala, seen the mandala. Otherwise, you'll definitely break your binding precepts. So you are asked and exhorted not to boast about your practice of Tantra, such as those of the generation and completion stage practices, to those who have no faith in it. So So the Lama places his Vajra on your head, and then you take the pledge, holding precepts through the Lama's demonstration of the disadvantages of not doing so. So without having done much practice of Tantra, just pretending to be doing some very profound tantric practice and reciting certain tantric mantras will not be good to you. If you speak to anyone about your Vajra binding precepts, your head will burst. And then next, the Lama touches your Vajra at your heart. And today, he says, the glorious Heruka has completely entered your heart. If you talk about it, he will leave you immediately. So Tantra must be practiced in secrecy, holding yourself low profile with regard to this practice. And so mantra means protecting your mind from ordinary appearance and ordinary clinging. So you leave behind this gross body and mind, but use the subtle body and mind and attain illusory body and the clear light wisdom. Today, the Heruka, glorious Heruka, has completely entered your heart. If you talk about it, he will leave you immediately. And next, to take the pledge abiding by the binding precepts to the Lamas, pointing out both the benefit in doing so and disadvantage of not doing so. So the 5 kinds of nectar in the skull cup mixed with scented water and flour are blessed by the 3 syllables on Mahum. The Lama takes some and nectar with the thumb and ring finger gives to you and says, "My child, this nectar is a poison that will burn you if you do not keep the binding precepts. But if you adhere to them, you will attain spiritual accomplishments. Both happen through the water of the fivefold nectar, Ompansa Amrita Uddhata." And then to take the pledge to obey the Lama, which is the first practice. Which we go against it, you are causing the first root infringements to tantric vows. Do not despise the binding precepts and do not go against them. If you do, you will go to the hell ram and so on. So please repeat this. Please say, repeat this. May all the heroes and yoginis give me their blessings. Please cause glorious Heruka to descend upon me and dissolve into me. May all heroes and yoginis give their blessings. Please cause Heruka, glorious Heruka to descend upon me and dissolve into me. May all the heroes and yoginis give their blessings. Please cause glorious Heruka to descend upon me and dissolve into me. So then next you appear as the syllable Hum. So you are now generating yourself into the deity Heruka. You appear as the syllable Hum, from which Vajra marked with syllable Hum arises. The Vajra transforms and becomes dark blue. Heruka, with one face and 2 arms, you hold Vajra and bell cross at your heart and stand with your right leg extended. Under your feet, a blue bow-shaped wind mandala with a waving banner arises from the syllable Yam. The soles of your feet are each marked with the syllable Za. At your navel is the syllable Ram, from which arises a red triangle fire mandala marked with syllable Ram. At your heart is the syllable Lam, from which arises a yellow square, earth marked with at each of its 4 corners by 3-pronged Vajra. At your crown, syllable Bam, which arises from white round waters mandala marked with syllable Bam. From the seed syllable at the heart of the Lama, who is inseparable from the principal deity, rays of light radiate, which strikes the wind mandala. The 2 Ze syllables on the sole of your feet are stirred by this lower wind, enter your body through the pores of your soles of the feet and connect with the fire at your navel. The fire blazes upward, heating the earth at your heart and causing the water at your crown to boil. Nectar flows down from it, satisfying you. Then the lower winds lift you into the air, from whom at the heart of the Lama, who is inseparable from the principal deity, rays of light radiate, inviting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes, yoginis, who appear in the form of Chakrasamvara deities. These deities, the wheel of body, speech, and mind, fall on you like heavy rain. They enter through the pores of the skin, dissolve one by one in the upper, middle, and lower parts of your body, respectively, and become inseparable one with you. So with this mantra, they become one with you. Shri Bazar Hai Heru Kam Hu Ped Dagin Zolashin Baram Soha, recited by the master at the heart of the mantra, the heart mantra of Heruka, and next is the mantra of Vajravarahi, Om Bazar Verutani Hu Pe Soha. And around the edge of the heart mantra of the principal deity and his consort is the mantra Om Tikta Mahakorda Abhishaya Hum Shri Heruka Vidmai Vidya Vyaraza Yadi Mai Swaha. So which the Lama recites in the dignified manner while music is being played and since the wisdom beings descend on you. Then the Lama places the Vajra on your crown and stabilizes the descent of the wisdom beings. So imagine that these wisdom beings have been brought down into you. So stabilizing the wisdom beings within you, Dikta Benza, with this mantra. Dikta Benza. So imagine you are going around the mandala 3 times. Om, and repeat this mandala. Om Kenda Rui Hum Hum Pet. Om Kenda Rui Hum Hum Pet. Om Kenda Rui Hum Hum Pet. And visualize. So the Lama makes this proclamation of truth. May the level of the lineages of the deities of this perfect mandala, into which the disciples are led, manifest according to the merit of the disciples. May their spiritual accomplishments, lineage of their which they are vessels, and the extent of the power of their merit manifest in this mandala. So now hold the flower garland between your folded hands, and imagine offering it to the, imagine being in front of the deities of the mandala. This is to prepare to throw the flower garland into the deities. So a few disciples are called to come forward to the mandala. Bodhisattva ho. So Venerable Kensur Jadurumbuchela will represent all other people in this initiation ceremony. So the flower fell in the center of the mandala. So the young Rinpoche as well as Gyabji Jadur Rinpoche's flower fell in the center of the mandala. So the Lama recites, heroic beings of the great power, please take care of these disciples until they attain enlightenment. Heroic being of great power, please take care of my disciples until they attain enlightenment. Heroic being of great power, please take care of my disciples until they attain enlightenment. So you should not completely cover your eyes with the blindfold. So today the glorious Haruka is striving to open your eyes. Once open the Vajra eyes that see everything unsurpassed. Om Vajra Netra Apar Hara Patalabham. Behold, behold, great hero. Behold the excellent mandala. Now your faith has been well generated and you are born as child of the yoginis. You are blessed with mantra and mudra. You have actualized the entire assembly of sublime beings and all sublime spiritual accomplishments. You guard all the binding precepts, are also diligent in sacred mantra, dwell in the center of variegated lotus, and remain in complete non-duality. You embody all that is animated and inanimate, and strive for conduct and liberation. Behold the all-knowing, the principal deity of all actions, the great hero. Then the Lama describes the mandala to be meditated on. The Vajra fence and the fire mountain are completely surrounded by the 8 great charnel grounds, and in the center is a variegated lotus flower. On top of the lotus is a cross Vajra, in the center of which is a square celestial mansion with 4 gates and 5 wheels. In the central sanctum of the mansion is the glorious Heruka and its consort, and the 4 lotus on the 4 lotus petals of the great bliss wheel are the 4 dakinis, and on the moon disk in the 4 intermediate directions there are the 4 skull cups with the 5 nectars. The 24 heroes and the 24 heroines are in the mind wheel, the speech wheel, and the body wheel, and on the binding precepts wheel, and the 8 female guardians of are the 8 female guardians. Imagine that you can directly see the residential mandala. Please repeat this. So, having made the mandala offering, just as you, magnificent one, have bestowed the glorious Heruka empowerment, the source of all good to protect living beings, please bestow them on me as well. So, 3 times. So, you are sitting on a variegated lotus seat in the lion throne, appearing as the deity on whom the flower fell. So, since the flower fell in the center of the mandala, you should imagine yourself arising in the form of a Heruka. On a sun just at the heart of the inner Heruka, who is inseparable from the principal deity, is a syllable hum. The hum is surrounded by the mantra Om Shri Bhadra He Herurukam Hum Hum Pet. Dagini Zolashambaram Swaha Om Bezar Veruzani Hum Hum Pet Swaha. A replica of the mantra arises from the heart of the inner Heruka, the Guru, like a flame lit by another flame. The replica moves up from the Lama's heart, comes out of his mouth, enters your mouth, and settles at your heart, counterclockwise around the syllable hum at your heart. Rays of light radiate from it, purifying your negativities, negative actions and defilements. So this is essential, supreme primordial wisdom of all the Buddhas. All the Buddhas are encompassed by it. You should also embrace it forever. So meditate on the visualization mentioned above while repeating the 2 mantras. So Bhagawan, you have kindly granted me the mantras. Bhagawan, please bless me. Bhagawan, you have kindly granted these disciples the mantras. Bhagawan, please bless them. May So please repeat this. Bhagawan, you have kindly granted me the mantras. Please bless me, Bhagawan. Bhagawan, you have kindly granted me the mantras. Bhagawan, please bless me. So, Bhagawan, you have kindly granted me the mantras. Bhagawan, please bless me. And the Lama then says in response, Bhagawan, you have kindly granted these disciples the mantras. Bhagawan, please bless them. May all the blessings of the glorious Chakrasamvara's body, speech, and mind enter them. So, and then the places the flower on the crown of So next is the 5 knowledge empowerments. The first one is Akshobhya Water Empowerment. So with this mantra, you and the disciples and the water in the vase, that is empowerment substance dissolved in emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness, you and the empowerment substance arise. Each arises a syllable hum, which transforms into Vajra marked with syllable hum. The Vajra and the hum transforms, and you and the empowerment substance each arises blue Akshobhya with one face and two arms. Your right hand holds a vajra, left bell. You embrace your consort Mamaki, who holds a carved knife and skull cup. You are adorned with 6 mudras, and your consort is adorned with 5. You are the deity who is empowerment substance, and the deity who is the empowerment substance are each seated on a vajra posture. At your forehead is syllable throat syllable at heart syllable hum. From the hum at the syllable, heart of the Lama and the principal deity, who are inseparable, rays of light emanate, inviting the wisdom beings and empowerment deities who appear as Akshobias, and with Pam, Za, Hum, Bam, Ho, the wisdom beings dissolve into you, Akshobia, and the Akshobia of empowerment substance, and become inseparable. The Lama requests the empowerment deities and grant the empowerment to Akshobia of the empowerment substance. May all the Tathagatas please grant him the blessings. So having been requested thus, the empowerment deities bestow the empowerment on the crown of Akshobhya of the empowerment substance with water in the vase. His head is now adorned with Vajrasattva, and the Lama makes offerings to him with Om, Argam, Padisa, Soha, and so forth. The Lama offers him the kinds of water, music, and so forth. Then the principal deity and his consort enter into union, melt into nature of bodhicitta of great bliss, and become vast water. From the home at the heart of the Lama and the principal deity, who are inseparable, the rays of light invite mandala of the 62 deities along with their retinues, and then offerings are made to them by the Lama with Om, Argam, and so forth. And then, just as Vajradhara gave empowerments, which are the source of good qualities, to the Buddhas to protect sentient beings, please bestow them here as well. And then, having been requested as the 8 female guardians of the 4 gates and 4 corners, drives away any interfering spirits. The heroes recite auspicious verses, and heroines sing Vajra songs. The Vajra goddess of form, etc., make offerings, and principal deity arouse the intention to bestow the empowerment. The 4 consorts, together with the Varahi, hold jewel vase filled with the 5 nectars, and bestow the empowerment through the crown of your head. And then the auspiciousness verse is recited, and the disciples receive the empowerments through the bestowal of the Akshobhya water empowerment with water from this. Your body is filled with the nectar stream, transforms you into the nature of great bliss, and purifies your defilements. The surplus water at the crown of your head transforms into Akshobhya and adorns your head. And then from the from the home at the heart of the Lama and the principal, who are inseparable rays of light and white, empowerment deities, and in the form of Akshobhya and the empowerment deities enter you through every pore, and you transform into a nature of Akshobhya. This is the inner empowerment. You have received the water empowerment. This has purified your stains of aversion. It has transformed your aggregate of consciousness. You have attained the primordial wisdom of Dhammadhatu, and you have been empowered to attain the spiritual accomplishment of Akshobhya and so his family. And next is the crown empowerment. The same procedure of dissolving into emptiness and rising into the deity, Ratnasambhava in this case. And then the bestowing of the empowerment of Ratnasambhava. The Lama requests empowerment deities a grant empowerment of Ratnasambhava. May all the Tathagatas please grant him the empowerment. Having been requested thus, the empowerment deities bestow the empowerment of the crown, the substance, empowerment substance with vast water. His head is now down with Vajrasattva, and the Lama makes offering to him with Argam and so forth. From the home at the heart of the Lama and principal deity, who inseparable rays of light radiate, inviting mandala of 62 deities along with their retinues. So the auspiciousness verse says auspicious state that is arisen from Dharma Dhatu is the flaming body of the glorious Heruka, the king of fearsome. So here the auspiciousness here state refers to the union of body and mind. And then action of the Sambhava crown ornament. The empowerment is the great Vajra. It is worshipped in the three realms. Born from the place of the three Vajra secrets, it will be given to you. So the disciples also transform into Ratnasambhava and his consort and receives the empowerment of Ratnasambhava, the crown empowerment. So through the bestowal of Ratnasambhava crown empowerment, with the vata from the vase, from the vase, your body is filled with a stream of nectar, transforms you into the nature of great bliss, and purifies the defilement. Surplus water at the crown transforms himself into Sambhava and taunts you. So you have received the crown empowerment of Rajasambhava that purifies stains of arrogance and miserliness and transforms your aggregates of feeling, and you attain primal wisdom of equality, and you have been empowered to attain the spiritual accomplishments of Rajasambhava and his family. And next is the Amitabha Vajra empowerment. The same procedure. You and the Vajra, that is empowerment substance, dissolve into emptiness and so forth. And the so the 62 deities of the mandala are invited. From the heart, from the home at the syllable, from home at the heart of the Lama and principal deity, who are inseparable, rays of light radiate, inviting the mandala of 62 deities along with their retinues. As before, the Lama makes offerings of Om Argam and so forth to Shapta Pratisasana. Just as the Vajradhara gave empowerments, which are the source of good qualities, you to the Buddhas to protect sentient beings, please bestow them as here as well. Having been requested thus, the 8 female guardians and the 4 gates of the 4 gates and the 4 corners drive away the interfering spirits. The heroes recite auspicious verse. The heroines sing Vajra songs. The Vajra goddess of form, etc., make offering, and principal deity arouses the intention to bestow. The 4 consorts, together with Varahi, hold jeweled vases filled with the 5 nectars and bestow the empowerment through the crown of your head. And then the recital of this auspiciousness verse. So this Vajra is given to your right hand and it's touched at your heart, throat, and crown. So this is the bestowal of the glorious Heruka empowerment of all the Buddhas. Therefore, in order to fully complete bestowal of the empowerment today, take the Vajra. Just as the celestial beings cleansed your body with pure celestial body for a moment after you are born, we also purify your body in this way. Through the bestowal of Amitabha empowerment in the water vase, your body is filled with streams of nectar, transform you into the great bliss, nature of great bliss, and purifies your defilements. The surplus water transforms into crown into Amitabha, who adorns you. So you have received the virtual empowerment of Amitabha. This has purified your stains of desires and attachment, transformed your aggregate of discernment, and you have attained the primordial wisdom of individual investigation, and you have been empowered to attain the spiritual accomplishments of Amitabha and his family. And the fourth one is the Amoghasiddhi Bell empowerment. So with Om Kantari Hum Hum Pet, the Lama recites to dispel any interferences. You and the bell, that is empowerment substance, dissolve into emptiness. From the emptiness, you and the empowerment substance each arise a syllable come and stands on a lotus and sun disk. The come becomes a sword marked with the syllable come. The sword and the come transform, and you and the empowerment substance each arises. Green Amoga Siddhi with one face and two arms. In your right hand you hold lotus, left bell, and embrace concert green Samayatara, who hold a carved knife and skull cup. You are adorned with 6 mudras, and you concert with 5. At your forehead, Om syllable, at your throat, syllable Ah, and at your heart, Hum. And from the Hum at the heart, Lama and principal deity who inseparable, rays of light emanate, inviting the wisdom beings and empowerment who appeared Amoga Siddhi and Zaum the wisdom being dissolved into you, and Amoga Siddhi of the empowerment substance become inseparable. The Lama requests empowerment deities of the grant Amoga Siddhi empowerment of substance. Empowerment substance, the empowerment, saying, may all the Tathagatas bless, please grant him the empowerment. Having been requested as empowerment deities bestow the empowerment of the crown of Amoga Siddhi of the empowerment substance with water, with the waste water. His head is now adorned with Vajrasattva, and Lama makes offering to him with Om Argam Padisam Soha and so forth. And then the principal deity and consort enter into union, melt into the nature of bodhicitta, great bliss, and become bell. From the home at the heart of the Lama and principal deity, who are inseparable, rays of light are emitted, inviting the mandala of the 62 deities along with their retinue. As before, the Lama makes offerings to them. Just as Vajradhara gave empowerments, which are the source of good qualities, to the Buddhas to protect sentient beings, please bestow them here as well. So, for the empowerment of the bell, Amoga Siddhi, you arise in the form of Amoga Siddhi, and you are made offerings. So with this, you have received the Amoga Siddhi empowerment with water from the vase. Your body is filled with stream and transformed into the great nature of great bliss, purifies defilements, and the surplus water transforms to Amoga Siddhi, and you adorn you. So you have received the empowerment of Amoga Siddhi. This has purified your stains of envy. It has transformed your aggregate of mental engagement. You have attained the all accomplishing primordial wisdom, and you have been empowered to attain the spiritual accomplishment of Amoga Siddhi and his family. Next is Vajrachana name empowerment. So you dissolve into emptiness, and from that you rise in the form of Rachana. And all the deities of the 62 deities, along with their retinues, are invited through the rays of light that emit from the home syllable at the heart of the Lama and the principal deity. Just as Vajradhara gave empowerments, which are the source of good qualities, to the Buddhas to protect sentient beings, please bestow the here as well. So having been requested, thus the 8 female guardians of the four gates and the 4 corners drive away any interfering spirits and so forth. And then the auspiciousness verse, the auspicious state that has arisen from the Dhammadhatu is the flaming body of glorious Haruka, the king of the fearsome. His Vajra plays in the lotus of the knowledge Varahi. Through the power of this truth, may there be auspiciousness to abide in supreme bliss. So the empowerment of the great Vajra is the great Vajra. It is worshipped in the 3 realms. So you are given this name, Akshobhya Vajra. So when you hear this name, you are now called Akshobhya Vajra, feel a great bliss arising within yourself. That bliss in turn induces the wisdom realizing emptiness. So you are given this empowerment through the bestowal of Virochana name empowerment with the water from the vase. Your body is filled with stream of nectar, transforms into nature of great bliss. You transform into nature of great bliss, purifies your defilements. The surplus water on your crown transforms into Virochana, who adorns you. From the home syllable at the heart of the Lama and principal deity, rays of light emanate, inviting all empowerment deities in the form of Virochana in concert. The empowerment deities enter into you through every pore of your body, and you transform into the nature of Virochana. And then you made these offerings of drinking water and so forth. So you have received the name empowerment of Virochana. This purifies the stains of ignorance. It has transformed aggregate of your body. You have attained the mirror-like primordial wisdom, and you have been empowered to attain the spiritual accomplishment of Virochana, his family. And next is empowerment of 2 yogic disciplines. The 7th empowerment, the empowerment of 2 yogic disciplines, has 2 parts, imparting this common yogic discipline and uncommon yogic discipline. You and the Vajra, that is the empowerment substance, dissolves into emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness, you and the empowerment substance each arise in the form of home standing on the lotus and moon cushion. The home transforms into Vajra, which transforms to syllable, marked with the syllable home. The Vajra and the home transform, and you and the empowerment substance each arise as Vajra Sattva, and you hold the Vajra in your right hand, bell in your left, embrace your consort, white Vajratupa, who holds a carved knife and skull cup. You are adorned with 6 mudras and the consort 5. You and the deity who is empowerment substance are each seated in Vajra posture. At your forehead there is syllable Om, at your throat syllable I, and your heart Hum syllable. So all the Tathagatas are requested to give you empowerment. So the great bliss method and the wisdom realizing emptiness. Through that, all the Buddhas abide in the hand of Heruka. You too should hold the Vajra forever. Make the yogic discipline of glorious Heruka firm. So as before, visualize the Lama touching your 3 places with the Vajra. He places the Vajra in your right hand and you hold it at your heart. Sarvata Tathagata Siddhi Vaja Samayate Cha Eka. Stam Darayan Om Ha 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 He. So imagine that a radiant Vajrasattva and his consort reside at your heart. This is the inner empowerment. So from now on, hold the inner Vajra of the 5 wisdoms without ever being separated from it, which is the method of the attaining Vajrasattva. So you must keep this practice. So then next is important uncommon yogic discipline. From within the state of emptiness, you rise into a home and that stands on a variegated lotus and sun disk. This transforms into Vajra marked with syllable Hum. The Hum transforms into Vajra that is marked with Hum. The Vajra and Hum transform, and you arise as dark blue Heruka with four faces. Your main face is black, the left green, the back face is red, and the right face is yellow. Each face has 3 eyes. You have 12 arms and wear a chain of 5-pronged Vajra on your crown, on your forehead. Your right leg is extended and tramples on the left ear of Black Bhairava, who has fallen on his right side. Black Bhairava has 4 hands. His 2 hands are pressed together, and the other 2, the right hand holds a damaru and left a sword. Your left leg is bent, trampling on the breast of red Kala Ratri, who also has 4 arms. The two beings under your feet are have one face and 3 eyes, and are adorned with 5 mudras. Of your 12 arms, your first arm embrace Vajravarahi white, while your right hand holds a Vajra, 5-pronged Vajra, and your left hand holds a bell. The next 2 hands hold a garment made of bloody white elephant skin, which is stretched across your back. Your right hand holds the left foreleg, and your left hand holds the left hind leg. Both of these hands are in the threatening mudra, with the tips of your outstretched fingers at the level of your eyebrows. Your right hand holds a Dhammarudram, the fourth axe, the fifth the carved knife, and the sixth an upright 3-pronged spear, a katanka. Your third left hand holds katanka, staff, and a 3-pronged spear. Your third left hand, katanka, staff marked with a vajra. The fourth left, blood-filled skull cup. Fifth, vajra noose, and sixth, 4-faced head Brahma. On top of your central head is wish-fulfilling jewel set in a cross vajra. The vajra adorns your hair, which is tied up in a top knot. Each head is adorned with a crown of 5 human skulls, strung together at the top and bottom with the rosary of black vajras. To the left of your crown is a crescent slightly tilted. To the left, your crown is slightly tilted crescent. Your facial expressions change, and your 4 sets of fangs are bad and terrifying. You display 9 moods. 3 physical moods of majesty, heroism, menace. The 3 verbal moods of laughter, expressions of laughter, wrath, and ferocity. And you wear lower garment of tiger, and so forth. You, the Bhagavan, are embraced by the exalted Mother Vajravarahi, who has red-colored body, 1 face, 2 hands, and 3 eyes. She is naked with loosely hanging hair and wears a lower garment embellished with skull fragments and so forth. Her left hand, embracing your neck, holds a skull cup filled with blood of the 4 evil forces and so on, which she offers to your mouth. Her right hand is a menacing mudra, threatening all the harmful entities and the 10 directions, holding a vajra. Her body burns like the fire at the end of the aeon, and her 2 calves are clasped around your thighs. She has the essence of great compassion, which is in the nature of great bliss. She is adorned with the mudras and wears a head ornament of 5 dried human skulls and a necklace of 50 dried human skulls. At your forehead is syllable Om, throat Ah, at your heart Hum, and from the Hum at the heart of the Lama and principal deity, rays of light emit and invite wisdom beings, empowered and empowerment deities who appear in the same form as Heruka. With Pam Zahum Pam Ho, the wisdom beings dissolve into you and become inseparable from you. Having been requested this So next is bestowing the uncommon yogic discipline on the disciple. And so, having been requested, thus the four concepts of Varahi, Om Sarvatathagata, recite the Om Sarvatathagata, Abhishek, Samaya Shri Home, and you give the empowerment. At the crown of your head is Akshobhya, at the crown of your head, the head of the concert is Varochana, and giving Katanka. So Heruka heart mantra and his concert's heart mantra recited 3 times over the Katanka, staff, Damaru, and skull cup. So in your heart, there is Heruka with his concerts, the size of half a thumb. So meditate in this way. By meditating this way, you receive the inner empowerment. So the uncommon Vajra Master empowerment.
Hirukabe Shajan Shidana Yandane, Karunga Shangdu Lungsida, Jimbo Boyu Songaji, Karunga Shangdu Lungsi Sang, Hirukabe Karunga, Nanshaman Jamaru, Doji Karam Doji Chibu, Sisi Dajoji, Sambu Guido, Nansho da, Karunga da, Doji Bow Shambu Songaji.
So you're asked to keep the Katanka, that represents the body of a deity, great bliss, the Damaru drum represents the wisdom of emptiness, the skull bell represents maintaining the inseparability of bliss and emptiness, and the Brahman thread represents freedom from conceptions, knowing this to not be separated from them. So with these understanding of these symbolisms, visualize Haruka in his concert, the size of half a thumb, in your heart. So please make a mandala offering for the next initiation, the uncommon Vajra Master Empowerment. This ground in honor of the perfume strewn with flowers adorned with Mount Meru for confidence and sun and the moon, I visualize this Buddha filled and offer it to you. May all sentient beings enjoy it pure filled. Please repeat this request. Oh, great hero, grant me the irrevocable empowerment. Please cause me to become a Vajra master for the sake of all sentient beings. Please cause me to become a Vajra master for the sake of all sentient beings. Please cause me to become a Vajra master for the sake of all sentient beings. With Om Kendari Hum Pad, the Lama recites this. And then everything dissolves into emptiness. The old disciples dissolve into emptiness. And from the sphere of emptiness, a jewel throne supported by lions arises as the empowerment platform. On the throne, you arise the syllable Hum that stands on lotus and sun disk. The Hum transforms into Vajra marked with the syllable Hum. The Vajra and the Hum transform, and you arise a Vajradhara with one face and 2 arms. You hold a Vajra in the right hand, bell in the left, and embrace Vajratupa, who holds a carved knife in the skull. You are adorned with 6 mudras in the concert 5. And you are seated in the Vajra posture. At your forehead there is syllable at your throat, at your heart, Hum syllable. And rays of light radiate from the Hum syllable at the Lama, the heart of the Lama, who is inseparable from the principal deity, inviting the wisdom beings to appear as Vajradharas. With Pam Zaum Bamho, the wisdom beings dissolve into you and become inseparable from you. Above you is a white parasol with a golden handle. To your right is our victory banners. To your left are flags, and in all directions are clouds of offerings. The rising of the Vajra and bell as having the nature of Vajradhara and Vajra Vajragarvi, respectively. So the Vajra and bell dissolve into emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness appears syllable hum and syllable ah. They arise, the hum arise in the Vajra as the Vajra that has the nature of Vajra Sattva, and ah arises as bell that has the nature of Vajra Tupa. So through that, all the Buddhas abide in the hand of Heruka. You too should hold the Vajra forever. Make the yogic discipline of the glorious Heruka firm. The heroic being who is without beginning or end is Vajrasattva, the great joy. Here is the nature of all that is excellent in every way. In union with the Vajratupa, he is the Lord of the Lords. He is the supreme and glorious Bhagavan, foremost of our Maha Vajra Hum. The non-dual primordial wisdom, which is the mind of the conqueror and inseparable from emptiness, is secret Vajra. To remember this, take the Vajra and hold it by being mindful of its suchness. So because of our clinging to true existence in things, all kinds of misfortunes happen to us. And the samsara, the cycle of existence, appear as if they have some kind of objective existence from their own side. But if you think through, you'll see that they are empty of any inherent or inherent face. So by remembering the emptiness of things through your study, developing the understanding of emptiness, and then also through reflection and meditation, you free yourself from this cycle of existence. And so, with the help of bodhicitta and the meditation on wisdom of emptiness, you progress along the path, and then finally your mind and body transforms into the body of Buddha. And therefore, you make this existence supreme. So it says, existence is without essence. This nature frees from existence. It frees you from existence. The supreme heroic being, pure by nature, transforms existence into the supreme. And so, the great bliss method and the wisdom of emptiness, represented by the Vajra and bell, Vajra Ganda, hold the bell by thinking that its sound is the sound of the lack of inherent existence of all phenomena. Hold it by remembering the principle of suchness. And then, since the mental body is stable, the samaya of the mudra is fully as described. Such a body is stable in all respects, so it is declared to be the mudra. After the wisdom mudra has been blessed, enjoy yourself with all the sensual pleasures and actualize all spiritual accomplishments. The great mudra The great mudra, or Mahamudra, and of meditating your body as the body of the deity, and the samaya of the mudra, that you should not transgress. In the meditative union with the wisdom mudra, you must actualize all spiritual accomplishments. So the highest yoga tantra's uniqueness is using actualizing the directly kind of holding on to this innate clear-light mind. Through this practice, then you all the gross states of mind subside, and you generate a very unique wisdom awareness, the non-dual wisdom awareness of bliss and emptiness. So the union of bliss and emptiness that arises in dependence on your meditation on yourself as Vajrasattva in embrace with your concert is the actual Vajra Master empowerment. From the whom at the heart of the Lama, the principal deity who are inseparable rays of light irradiate, inviting the mandala of the 62 deities along with the great retinue, and then the offerings of argam and so forth are made.
라마다 진고교수 타메제베 토고 홍거시 타추수선이 지진고 콜루도 제버 진고
So the
콜도
62 deities, along with their retinues, are invited. And then made offerings with argam and so on until Shabda Partijam Swaha. With this, the Lama makes offerings to them. And just as Vajradhara gave empowerments, which are the source of good qualities to the Buddhas to protect sentient beings, please bestow them here as well. So having made this request, the 8 female guardians of the 4 gates and 4 corners drive away interfering spirits. The heroes recite auspicious with the heroines, sing Vajra songs, a Vajra goddess of form, etc., make offerings. And the principal deity arouses the intention to bestow the empowerment. The 4 consorts, together with Varahi, hold jeweled vases filled with 5 nectars. Bestow the empowerment through the crown of your head. The auspiciousness that has arisen from the Dhammadhatu is the flaming body of the glorious Heruka, the king of the fearsome. His Vajra plays in the lotus of knowledge, Vajra Varahi. Through the power of this truth, may there be auspiciousness to abide in supreme bliss. So the empowerment is the great Vajra. It is worshipped in all 3 realms, born from the place of 3 Vajra secrets. It will be given to you. Om Chakra Vajra Vira Sattvam Abhikinsahum. So through the bestowal of the empowerment, your body is filled with stream of nectar and transformed into the great nature of great bliss. All impurities have been purified. The surplus water crown at the crown of your head transforms into a kshobhya and adorns your head. So all the empowerment deities dissolve into you through the crown. And so you have received the 4 empowerments of the Heruka in the Krishnacharya Tradition. So you have received the vast empowerment, actually. So we are still left with the next 3 empowerments, the secret empowerment and the wisdom knowledge empowerment and the 4th empowerment. So with this Supatita think that rain of flowers are falling on you and that you are being installed as Dharma King of the 3 realms as before. The Lama makes offerings to you with argam and so forth. The residential mandala and its mandala deities are all there, all mere manifestations of the primordial wisdom of the mandala's principal deity. They don't exist separately. They are all the mere essence of primordial wisdom. So with these words, the Lama shows you the suchness of the non-mandala and its deities. So the residential mandala and the resident mandala deities are all mere manifestation, Brahman wisdom of the mandala principle. Mandala's principal deity, they don't exist separately. They are all mere essence of Brahman wisdom. Then the Lama instructs, you should perform all the activities of the Vajra master, such as giving empowerment, performing consecration, and so forth. And then today you have become a Vajra master, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, deities regard you as the holder of mantras and tantras. You should make a sincere effort to make sentient beings under your guardians. Take sentient beings under your guidance. By drawing the mandala according to the ritual, you should connect the practitioners with mantra. And then the supplement permission writes, think that you are making offerings to 8 offerings deities, such as the deity of charm. And so from this day forward, celebrate blissfully the offering of the dance of self-assurance to the complete Buddhas, to the assembly of yoginis and heroes, and to all wisdom. So they're Lama making offerings to the different deities, offering of garland and so forth. The lamp, dance, so from now on, when you make offerings to the deities of charm and so on, you'll be making offerings to all the deities. And next is permission rights to benefit sentient beings. So all human beings on this earth do not want suffering, but want happiness. But because of our ignorance about what we need to do to experience happiness and what we need to do to overcome or avoid suffering, if we can do that, then you will be able to attain your goal of happiness and attain the lasting happiness. So it is very important to understand that things are without any essential core or intrinsic existence. And also the bodhicitta. So it says, just as the king of eye doctors removed cataracts in the world, so child, will the conquerors remove your darkness of not knowing. And then, so you're given a mirror, and say the Lama shows you the mirror and says, phenomena are like reflections, pure, clear, and unsullied, arising entirely from causes and conditions, actions. You're not existing by their own nature and without abiding. No phenomena in this way, and bring about the incomparable welfare of sentient beings, even though you are born as a child of the yoginis. Know that all phenomena lack inherent existence, like reflections in a mirror, and work for the welfare of sentient beings. And you are given the wheel between your feet, conch in your right hand, and bell in your left hand, and volume of text between your hands. Turn the wheel of Dharma, of the sacred conduct, in all the worlds for the benefit of every sentient being. Your mind, free from doubt, apprehension, and hesitation, should completely fill the Dharma conch with all that is unsurpassable and stainless. Actualize all the actions of pacifying, increase, empowering, summoning, appearing as angry, damaging, etc., extinguishing, and expelling. Actualize the yoginis, spiritual accomplishments of your choice, the spiritual accomplishment of the sword, the eye ointment, and the ground, the boot, or the pills. And then the binding precepts. Bestowing the binding precepts and vows. It says, the Lama says, when getting up early in the morning, next day, generate a clear mind, and during activities such as protecting, eating, and so on, guard yourself with the entire entity of the vows. protect the binding precepts and vows, disregarding your body and life. They should be recited every day, 3 times in the morning and 3 times at night. When the yogi neglects this, he commits a gross misdeed. On the 10th day of each month, beginning with the 12th lunar month, 12th lunar month, one should make excellent offerings, maintaining non-dual indivisibility of bliss and emptiness. As for substances such as alcohol, meat, and the entire assembly of heroes and yoginis, dwell in the non-dual state of bliss and emptiness of everything. Glorious Heruka is most supreme. You should not desire the fundamental vehicle, nor should you turn your back on sentient beings or completely abandon samsara. You must not take delight in nirvana. You should not deride any heroes and yoginis or step over their mudras, mounts, arms, and symbolic emblems. By the merit of keeping the binding precepts well, you will achieve spiritual accomplishments in this life. When you see women, circumambulate them 3 times and counterclockwise. After prostrating to them, also make supplication to them up to 3 times. Think that it is. So these are the instructions that the Lama has given. You should also make this pledge to keep them sincerely. And then repeat this. I try to do whatever the principal deity advises. I'll try to do whatever the principal deity advises. I'll try to do whatever the principal deity advises. So next is the permission right that is common with the practice. By being, the Lama says, by being endowed with the mind that is the wisdom of non-duality, there is nothing that you should not do. Always adopt the pure conduct and enjoy the 5 sense objects. While abiding in non-duality, take the food of engaging in the practice of binding precepts of non-duality and unobstructedness called Vajrasattva and so on. Oh, Lord of variety, an excellent practice, a lot of variety, excellent practice, pure conduct and meditative stability. As well, a practitioner fully protects the ceasing of actions that are without wrath. Oh, wherever you are, always abide in your practice. As a yogi accomplishing non-duality, do not show your yogini, my child. You should practice as long as you live. Enjoy all sensual pleasures as you desire. Reflect on the great yogas of Heruka and examine them all well. I'm actually all Buddhas and yoginis. Therefore, as glorious Heruka, I make offering to myself with all my efforts. And then the next binding precepts are that. So without, by abandoning the great bliss wisdom, there's no way you can attain Buddhahood within one lifetime, in one body. There's no negativity like lack of attachment in the 3 realms of existence. Therefore, you should never be without attachment, it says. And then the praise and prediction. So the Lama, who is just dressed in the same way as Shakyamuni Buddha, takes the corner of his yellow robe, upper saffron-colored monastic robe, and with his left hand and holds it like a lion's ears to the left side of his heart. With his right hand, he makes a gesture of giving fearlessness, bending it in the direction of the crown of your head. So just as glorious Heruka and the other deities all express this prediction with one voice, so do I predict that you will liberate sentient beings from the lower realms of worldly existence to establish them in the supreme state of glorious Heruka, the Tathagata. And then the verse describes the conquerors as predicting with one voice a host of supreme secrets that will come about through abiding in the mudra of Amoga Siddhi. And then next is the assurance. In the great kingdom of the 3 realms dwells the Lord of Conquerors. Today you have conquered all the evil forces, entered the supreme city. Today you have no doubt that you will attain the state of Buddha. Just as bestowing the empowerment on you, disciple, you will become a holder of good qualities. Through the Master's bliss, you have received the binding precepts of all that is inanimate and animate. So next is the giving of the secret empowerment, for which we make a mandala offering in request. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, four continents, sun and moon, I visualize this as Buddha filled and offer it to you. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. Please repeat these lines. O Bhagwan, great peace, you assert a single Vajra Yoga, you accomplished the indestructible mudra, and you have arisen from the Vajra Yoga. Master, please guide me to become a great being like you. I have sunk into the Maya samsara. Please protect me to who is without protection. Please protect me who is without protection. Please put on the blindfold.
Om Shri Om Pe Om Ahum Lomanam.
So with the 7 syllables, you put on blindfold. And from the syllable Drim, you arise as a lotus marked with the syllable Drim, and Drim marking the lotus transforms, and you arise as Amitabha. Your body is red, you have one face and 2 hands, and you hold this lotus and bell. And the Lama appears inseparable from the principal deity in the form of Heruka, with 4 faces and 12 arms, the full feature. The arising of the knowledge concept as Varahi. So Kandare Hum Bem Sabavishita Savadhama Savavishado Hung, the knowledge concept dissolves the emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness arises exalted Vajravarahi, who has the red colored body, 1 face and 2 hands and 3 eyes. She is naked with loosely hanging hair and wears a lower garment made of skull garments. Her left hand clasping Heruka's neck holds a skull cup filled with the blood of the full for evil force and so forth. Her right hand holds a vajra and makes the threatening gesture, menacing the malignant forces of the 10 directions. Her body burns like the fire at the end of the aeon, and her 2 calves clasp around your thighs. She has the essence of great compassion, which is the nature of great bliss. She is adorned with 5 mudras and wears a head ornament of the dried human skull, 5 dried human skull, and necklace of 50 dried human skulls. And then Heruka's secret place syllable, at Heruka's secret place syllable home arises from the sphere of emptiness and transforms into 5 red 5-pronged vajra, the inside of which is open. Inside of its opening is marked with the syllable Bya. At the secret place of Heruka's concert, syllable R rises from the sphere of emptiness and transforms into a red lotus with 3 petals. The inside of its opening is marked with the red syllable Home. On a moon seed at the heart of Heruka, there is blue syllable Hum, that is nature of Vajra mind. At throats, red mantra Om Shri Ha Ha Hum Hum Pet, that is the nature of his speech. And at his forehead, there is white mantra Om Shri Vajra He He Rurukam Hum Hum Pet, Dagin Isolation Baram Soha, that is the nature of his Vajra mind. And then at the heart of the concert, there's a blue mantra Om Sarva Buddha Dakini Vajravananya Hum Hum Pe Swaha. And that is the nature of her Vajra mind. At her throats, red mantra Om Sori Hum Hum Pet. That is the nature of the Vajra speech, her Vajra speech. And at her forehead is the white mantra Om Vajra Bharatani Hum Hum Pe Swaha. That is the nature of Vajra body. At the crown of the head of Heruka in his concert is Vajra syllable Om, that is nature of Vairocana. At their throats, syllable A, nature of Amitabha. At their heart, syllable Hum, nature of Akshobhya. At their navel is yellow syllable Swa, that is nature of Ratnasambhava. At the 2 thighs, green syllable Ha, nature of Amoghasiddhi. The Lama who is Heruka has entered into union with the concert. The sounds of their pleasure invite the heroes and heroines. The heroes enter the mouth of Heruka and heroines the concert's mouth, where they melt into light at the heart of Heruka and concert respectively. The white bodhicitta consisting of all the melted and fused heroes move through the body, Heruka's body, and mixes with the red bodhicitta consisting of all the equally melted and fused. So the mixed white and red bodhicitta transforms into conventional bodhicitta. Place them in some of the inner offerings that has been directly blessed on the tongue. So as you taste it, it helps you to experience great bliss, and that in turn induces the innate, spontaneous, clear light mind, which helps to overcome these the adventitious and temporary, gross and coarse states of mind. Please repeat this, Ahoma Sukha. So the experience of white and bodhicitta essence of white and which is all wood has melted fused, give the great bliss which ascends, ascertains emptiness. This inseparable union of bliss and emptiness is the nature of secret mantra, secret empowerment. You have attained the secret empowerment in the mandala of conventional bodhicitta. This has mainly cleansed the impurities of speech. It has also purified the appearance of the energy winds and mantras being separate entities. Please repeat these lines for the next empowerment of knowledge wisdom. O Bhagwan, great peace, you assert a single Vajra Yoga, you accomplished indestructible mudra, and you have arisen from the Vajra Yoga. Master, please guide me to become a great being like you. I have sunk into the mire of samsara. Please protect me who is without protection. Please protect me who is without protection. Please put on the blindfold. The Lama sprinkles the inner offering on you for protection. So you are visualizing yourself as Heruka with Vajravarahi, Yogini. So the Lama offers you the Yogini. So take this deity who gives you joy and appears in different attractive forms. Accept her, great hero, and make offerings to her. This is the yoga that actualizes enlightenment. It has the nature of essence of the five elements. Through my union with glorious Heruka, experience perfect bliss. From now on, my child, for the benefit of living beings, practice the excellent yogic discipline with the concert of the priestly caste, the royal caste, the merchant caste, the servant caste, and the lowest caste, or the lower caste. Penetrate the opening of the lotus and actualize the nectar. With these words, the Lama entrusts you with the concert, who undresses and displays the descent of the great bliss in the channel at the center of her blooming lotus. Tell me, hero of great bliss, do you respectfully make offering to all women of priestly caste and so forth? Do you take pleasure, hero, in penetrating while perceiving the non-duality of bliss and emptiness? And you say, and then the concert asks, do you, my child, enjoy consuming excrement and so on, semen, and the 5 kinds of nectar? And you reply by saying, oh goddess, I can adhere to any binding precepts that you explain to me. And then the Lama, the disciple arises, Heruka, and knowledge concert arises, Vajravarahi. So you rise in the form of glorious Heruka, blue in color, with 4 faces and 12 arms. And the knowledge concept dissolves in emptiness. From the sphere of emptiness, she arises in Vajravara, he. Her body red in color, with 1 face and 2 hands, holding Vajra and skull cup, and she's embracing you. Heruka's secret place dissolves into in non-objectified emptiness, from which arises a syllable hum that transforms into white long 5-pronged Vajra. Inside of the word is marked with syllable bear. From the sphere of emptiness, the secret place of Heruka's concert arises into the letter R that transforms into a red lotus and 3 petals. The inside of the opening of marked with red letter hum. On a moon seat at the heart of the Heruka, there is a syllable hum that is nature of Vajra mind. At his throat, red mantra Om Shri Ha Ha Hum Pesanon. So the perception of your body as a deity is the appearance of your own body, and that of your knowledge concert as the principal deity and his concert. 2 deities of desire. The perception of mantra is that after the 2 sacred organs were blessed, they were marked with syllables. The perception of the Dharma that is the thought that by relying on this method, you will attain inseparable bliss and emptiness of Dharmakaya. So, in the unique practice of Highest Yoga Tantra is to use the clear light, innate clear light minds, and you forcefully stop the workings of the flowing of the gross mind and wind energies, so that the 80 conceptions of the 3 visions of the whitish appearance, reddish increase, and blackish near attainment also cease through, this is done through the descent of the vital bodhicitta essence, and so that you attain, you go through the experience of the 4 empties. As you experience bliss or ecstasy, the great bliss, the supreme bliss, and so forth. So rays of light emit from the homes at the heart of the Lama, who is inseparable from the rays, draw in the Buddhas of the 10 directions who dissolve into your body through the fire of great desire. They melt into bodhicitta that flows from the crown of your head to your throat, generating joy. When it flows from throat to heart, generating supreme joy, and from the heart to navel, it generates flowing from there, it generates special joy, and when it flows from the navel to the tip of the jewel, it generates primordial wisdom of spontaneous arising. The union of non-dual bliss and emptiness is the actual knowledge, wisdom, empowerment. So take off the blindfold. So from now on, child, practice the yogic discipline with the concert of the priestly caste and so on. Penetrate the opening of the lotus and actualize the nectars. Next is the 4th empowerment. So till now, you have received the 3rd empowerment. You have attained the knowledge, wisdom, empowerment. Please repeat. Through your kindness, I have received the 3 principal empowerments. So the vast empowerment, secret empowerment, and the wisdom knowledge. Today, please also kindly bestow the precious 4th empowerment, the word empowerment, in other words. Through your kindness, I have received 3 principal empowerments. Today, please kindly bestow the precious 4th empowerment also. Please kindly bestow also the 4th empowerment, precious 4th empowerment. So at this point, the Lama introduces you to the union At the third initiation, the father and the deity and his consort go into union, so that they experience bliss through the melting of the bodhicitta that induces the wisdom of emptiness, so that you remain in that meditative concentration on emptiness. So though you ascertain emptiness, the nature of your mind is great bliss. So with that as the basis, you arise into the illusory body, the pure illusory body, and the pure meaning clear light are brought into union. So it says during the third empowerment, when your body appeared as Heruka in union with its consort, your mind, from its own perspective, was in a state of great bliss, simultaneously absorbed in suchness. By meditating on this, the appearance of the divine body and the wisdom of inseparable bliss and emptiness, by means of the many different methods, the object, which is the reality of selfness, and the subjective mind, which is the primordial wisdom of greatness, great bliss, eventually become of one mind, become of one taste, like water poured into water, without the mind being obstructed by the subtlest level of duality, so that the mind becomes primordial wisdom of the ultimate clear light. So here in this Highest Yoga Tantra, His Holiness was explaining that through union with a consort, you bring up the great bliss experience, which in turn induces wisdom of emptiness, so that you attain the union of body and mind. Through this practice of Highest Yoga Tantra, the conventional illusory body that exists in dependence on the subtlest wind and mind takes on the aspect of the Sambhogakaya that embraces his knowledge, who is an emanated aspect of him. Such a primordial wisdom of the ultimate clear light mind and Sambhogakaya are of one nature, one being the support and the other supported, existing in a unified state. This is the object of attainment, the actual fourth attainment. So you have attained the precious word empowerment, that is the fourth empowerment. This has left you with the ability to purify the imprints of your physical, verbal, and mental obscurations in the ultimate bodhicitta mandala. You have been empowered to meditate at the level of the completion stage, which is the state of the union of indivisibility to two truths, and you have the good fortune to attain the resultant unified state, the state of Vajradhara. And so here the Lama again instructs by saying this naturally beautiful consort has abandoned external objects. If you discard this lineage, there is no other method to attain Buddhahood. Only the yogic discipline of the knowledge consort is the highest of the highest yogic disciplines. So it is very important for us to use these teachings and these empowerments to practice them in our daily meditation, so that you are able to tread the path and tread along the path to become, to attain that final goal of enlightenment. So if you discard the level of definitive meaning, the realization of emptiness and of suchness, which causes the innate great bliss, just by focusing on its object, there is no other method that can bring about Buddhahood. Therefore, train in the yogic discipline of the knowledge consort of all the yogic disciplines. This is the highest of all the high yogic disciplines. So the Lama explains and bestows the yogic discipline of the knowledge on you. And finally, we make the Thanksgiving mandala offering for having received the entire empowerments, the four empowerments, according to the tradition of Krishnacharya Chakrasamvara system. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, four continents, the sun and the moon. I visualize this as a Buddha field and offer it. And may all sentient beings enjoy this pure field. This is making talk offering from the Lama Chepa. This is the prayer for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, written by his two late tutors, Gyabje Yongzing Ling Rinpoche and Gyabje Yongzing Tijang Rinpoche. Swati to the assembly of most kind teachers, both present and past, the miraculous dance of the body, speech, and mind of innumerable Buddhas manifesting in accord with aspirants' spiritual capacities, the wish-granting jewel, the source of all virtues and goodness. To you we offer our prayers with fervent devotion, that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snow, live for 100 eons. Shower him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of all meditational deities manifesting in countless mandalas and divinities, the magical clouds of immaculate, transcendent wisdom reaching the farthest expanse of space of ultimate reality, to you we offer prayers with fervent devotion, that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons, shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To all the victorious Buddhas of the three times, endowed with the 10 powers and who are even the masters of gods, and whose attributes of perfection are the source of all compassionate deeds, benefit the vast ocean like realms of sentient beings, benefiting the vast ocean like realms of sentient beings. To you we offer prayers with fervent devotion, that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of sacred doctrine embodied in the three vehicles, supremely serene, a jeweled treasure of enlightenment, stainless, unchanging, eternally good, and the glory of all virtues, which actually liberates beings from the suffering of three worlds. To you we offer prayers with fervent devotion, that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snow, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To all members of the enlightening noble spiritual community who never stray from the thoroughly liberating adamant city, who possess the wisdom eye that directly sees the profound truth and the highest valor of, to destroy all machinations of Sickly existence, so you we offer prayers with fervent devotion that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of heroes and darkness, heavenly beings of the three worlds, who appear in the highest paradises, in the sacred places, and in the cremation grounds, and who, through creative play in the hundredfold experience of bliss and emptiness, support practitioners in their meditation on the excellent path. To you we offer prayer with fervent devotion that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 years. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the ocean of protectors, endowed with eyes of transcendent wisdom, the powerful guardians and upholders of teaching who wear inseparably on their matted locks the knot symbolizing their pledge to the Vajra holder. To you we offer prayer with fervent devotion that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snow, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. Thus, to this congregation of excellent, undeceiving refuge, we pray that we, by the power of this prayer, expressed from the heart filled with fervent devotion and humility, may the body, speech, and mind of the soul protector of the land of snow, the supreme Ngawang Losang Tenzin Gyatso, be indestructible, unfluctuating, unceasing. May he live for 100 eons, seated on a diamond throne, transcending decay and destruction. You are the jewel heart, embodying all compassionate, beneficial deeds. O most courageous one, you carry on your shoulders the burden of all the Buddhas of the infinite realms. May all your noble aspirations be fulfilled as intended. By virtue of this, may the heavenly doors of the fortunate era open eternally as the source of relief and respite for all beings, and may the auspicious signs reach the apex of existence and release, as the sacred teaching flourish through all times and in all realms. May the nectar stream of the blessings of Lotus Holder always enter our hearts and nourish them with strength. May we please you with offerings of dedicated practice, and may we reach beyond the shores of perfect compassionate deeds through the blessing of the wondrous Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the infallible truth of the law of dependent origination, and by the purity of our fervent aspirations. May the aims of our prayer be fulfilled without hindrance.
Rejigi Namo Gyo Zagi Lama Nangi Dajijo Ida Lazo Nangi Dajijo Mada Kanjo Nangi Daji.
So we are going through the concluding ritual of this mandala initiation. This is the prayer of words of truth.
Gosum Kuja Dante, Tari Nabu Jube Logi, Pe Kolodumbe Wanjin, Tagwenda Ngwishiji, Nyi Ringi, Zita Shamse.
So this is reading out the financial account.
Sumju Soji, Konsa Chungani Dom, Gorobum Gadan, Nichi Godon Chicha Sumju Soji, Son, Sonju Kavi, Soja de Shaba, Sozo Jela, Bum Nisaji, Time Tomen Gangaju. Yenduma, Yangu Kungela song, Bomganga, Buzenka song, Bom Chushidan, 20 Tomen Abja, Chadela song, Bom Nidan, cheating out on Sumjangabju, Sazika song, Bomgadan, cheating some don Gaja Shibju, Tuji Lebula song, Nibum cheating out on, Konsa Songana, Dom, Bom Gadan, Chiti, Nadon Niga Shibju, Konsa Songa Dombe, Lade, Gor Chiti Sumdon, Gaja, Kuchu Koji, Je, Sunjo Koti Sojuni, Chilu Nidon, Game Nisasum, Chidasumbe Segula.